Okay, well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Banya. Today we've got Dana Lundquist, myself, Luke Manuel, and our very special guest today, Joel Keck. Did I say that right?
That's right, yeah.
Boom.
Welcome, Joel.
Yeah. Glad
Keck.
to finally make it.
What's Keck?
It's German.
German?
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. Both sides?
I've got a mixture, Czechoslovakian, Irish on my mom's side, and then pretty much full German on my dad's side.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've got Ollie outside doing something untoward, no doubt. Cora is also joining us on this podcast here.
Yeah, she is.
She's going to be quiet today, but did you want to say anything before we really get rolling? No?
No?
All right.
All right.
Good deal. All right, well, let's jump into it. Yeah, right on. We got a secondary videographer outside, Ollie.
Ollie's
peering
going through the window.
Very nice.
All right. Thank you, Ollie.
Yep. All right, cool. Well, what's up, Joel? How you been, man?
Good, man. Yeah. It's just enjoying life and busyness, between work, kids' sports, and, trying to get as much jiu-jitsu as possible. So,
Heck
yeah. Well, I've been failing on that front. I haven't seen you
I know.
all this week, and I'll be there tomorrow. You said
I'll be there tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, cool. Right on.
yeah. Got to make sure I'm there for the Monday, Fridays for sure,
Yeah.
They start the weekend the week that way. So,
Yeah, that's the move, right?
yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's get a little intro for Joel. So, Joel is a BJJ Blue Belt, a father of 3, right?
Two.
Father of 2.
Yep.
Sorry, you got a girl and a boy, right?
Yeah, I got 14.
Usually you undershoot.
I do. Yeah, I overshot today.
I'm not quite at the Drew level yet, so.
Ollie,
All right,
come on,
Ollie.
man. You can't holler that.
And then loving husband, a savage jiu-jitsu practitioner, of course. You're in sales, I believe,
Sales,
right?
yep.
Okay. What do you sell?
Electrical components. So
Okay.
we're a manufacturer's rep and sell for the manufacturers their products.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're in the similar business. I'm
Yep.
also selling to manufacturers, but it's all the technology for their manufacturing lines and whatnot. So similar stuff, but we see probably a lot of the same people, I'm sure.
Yep.
So yeah. Thank you, Ollie.
The one time we want you out here, you can't figure out the handle.
Yeah. You want to close that for us, Cora? Thank you.
Security/door lady. Thank you.
Well, cool. Welcome. Yeah, again, welcome to the Banya.
Glad to be here.
Been wanting to get you on for a while, so glad you could make it on. We've got a lot of the zombies have already come through here, so trying to work through everybody and hear your story. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's been I love getting on and listen to get to know the night people and just all across the board. Hearing people even people that I roll with just about every morning and get to know them better from a different level. So
For sure. Yeah, it's wild how deep most people are. Like,
Yeah.
way more complex than you'd expect.
yeah.
You're from Arizona?
I am.
You
Yep,
were
born and raised here. Went to college in Kansas. Went to a little Bible college out there called Manhattan Christian. Got to play soccer in college there.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
So
Did you
that
like
was
Kansas?
I did. Yeah, it was a good change of pace for me. So
Yeah.
I went to ASU my freshman year.
What
And-
city was that in?
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Yeah, so literally across the street from Kansas State University.
Okay.
all right, we're back after the intermission from Ollie. So yeah, Manhattan, Kansas. So
Yeah,
that's
Manhattan,
right by Kansas State.
Just literally across the street from Kansas State University, about the size of Flagstaff, college town.
Yeah.
So summers it dies down, and you can make it across town in 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's a good change of pace for me.
Yeah, I bet.
So
A little bit more focus on just school there, just because there's not a whole lot going on out there.
yeah, it took me away from everything. So I literally went out there not knowing a person.
Yeah.
So getting to pursue some athletics in college, getting to be on a soccer team. We won a national championship while I was there, so that was a cool experience to be a part of. Yeah,
sweet.
So
was it D2 then?
D2, yeah.
Okay.
So
we didn't turn the camera on.
No, we're still good.
Okay, we're good.
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Yeah, so that was cool experience. And being right across from K-State, we got a lot of players that just shouldn't have been at that school, but because of getting to play soccer in college, we got guys that we had a guy from Trinidad that played on the national team.
Oh, no shit.
Younger, like I would say, like 18s.
Yeah,
and so just good talent from all across the country. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
heck yeah, man. It's a fun experience, and there's not many collegiate athletes. I feel like it's a pretty impressive thing to be able to make a college sports team.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's fun, and with that you get to travel all around the Midwest, playing all these different schools and seeing the country. So,
Did you play against Ouachita Baptist?
No,
I had a friend who went there. I think it's in Arkansas.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't get down to Arkansas. We were up in Nebraska. All across Kansas. There's so many small little, NAI schools out there. So it was a good experience for sure.
Yeah, so. That's cool. So 1 year at ASU, you just didn't like ASU. That's good. I'm glad you left there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
definitely a Wildcat, so
I did all the things you do at ASU, and it was a pretty miserable year of my life. Just doing all the things that I shouldn't be doing. And
for sure.
Indulging and all that stuff, and I was like, I need a change.
Yeah.
So
well, that's good. You knew well enough to get out. I had a good friend who he did something similar. He actually went to Utah initially, and couldn't control himself, just partying, drinking, going crazy, and then came back, went to U of A for a little while, and then it's weird, he ended up going back to Utah and played. He was on the golf team. So kind of similar, like he had a bad freshman year and had to reset and kind of get away. But I can imagine. I mean, I stayed in my hometown and I took my sweet ass time in college as opposed to buckling down. So finally figured it out, but it was good.
Yeah, moving away was definitely a help with the growing up process.
Yeah.
Overall, I wouldn't change a thing. So
yeah. Well, good. That's awesome, man.
Did you come to that conclusion yourself that you needed to leave, or did something bad happen? Get in trouble?
No, I was at a pretty miserable spot. I had some older guys, mentors in my life that kind of spoke into it at that point and kind of said, like, what are you doing here? And they could see the writing on the wall, and as many excuses as I tried to give, it was, they're like, why don't you go pursue what God's calling you to do? So, and I was like, all right, yeah, you're right. And looking back on it, doing a visit at the college and everything, it wasn't, nothing spectacular, but I was like, this is where I'm going to go.
Sure.
Out of all the other places I was kind of looking at, I was like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
So
you looked at other schools as well then?
Yeah, I looked at colleges in California and Colorado, and, for whatever reason, Kansas was it. So
okay, well that's good, man. Well, I'm glad you figured it out. So you grew up religious, then I take it? Yeah. I grew up in church. That's how I know Lance and Drew. Grew up at church with them. Okay. So, from an early age, God's always been a big part of my life, and figuring it out for myself. You can always have a perspective that it's, what's just indoctrinated in you, and what you're supposed to do and what ingrained. Yep. And at a certain point, it's got a click of like, okay, you have to make the decision for yourself.
Yeah. And I had a kind of a realization between faith and religion. Just growing up, it was like always just like church. This is what you do. So being able to separate that and for me, having a relationship with God versus having a rules-based, lifestyle of things I needed to achieve or to be a good person. That's not what it's about. So.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I get that. I mean, I grew up from time I was born, going to church, and it was the same kind of thing. Like, this is just kind of what you did, and like having an understanding and realization of like more of what it means, and like actually not just like the whole parents hate because I said so kind of thing. Like having an understanding as to why.
Yeah.
And I'm not super religious now, but I have a better understanding and like Jordan Peterson talks about, like live as if there is a God, you know, and it's more of just a higher power, that there is something else above us that's more important than us.
Absolutely.
And living in such a way that still honors that, regardless of whether it's, you know, being super religious or not. But, you know, the golden rule, for example, you know, treat others as you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
I was actually listening to a podcast, I think just this morning, where talking about kind of the inverse of that is treating yourself how you wish others would treat you. Because most people, you know, we don't treat ourselves that well, you know, whether it be not following, you know, some sort of like strict diet, or following through with things we say we're going to do, or whatever it is. You know, treat yourself as somebody who needs to be taken care of as well. You know, like you would take care of a pet. Like, you're not going to miss giving them the medication, you know, every 12 hours because you want them to be better. But I guarantee probably all of us at some point have had some sort of medication, you know, you forget to take, and you're like, it's like whatever. You're not really like super conscious of it. But just the idea of taking care of yourself as if, you know, you want somebody else to take care of you.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to think about in such a way.
Yeah, I think that's the issue I think a lot of people have with, you know, religion is, you know, it is a lot of, you know, do this, you know, rules, and you know, when you break it down, Jesus came and he abolished all those things. He was like, you know, you guys took 10, you know, the 10 commandments, and he made it into, you know, hundreds.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like, you know, he brought it back to, you know, one simple one, you know, and it was love God and love others.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and if you think about it, even just breaking it down, like you could even say do not steal basically covers pretty much all of the other commandments. Because whether it be like adultery, like stealing the love of somebody else, or murder, stealing their life, or I don't have all of them memorized just like right offhand, but you get the idea. It's kind of like breaking those down in such just a simple way. Don't take from others or even from yourself things that don't belong to you, or that you shouldn't be you know, accustomed to, or entitled to, you'd think, I guess. But yeah, you know, if more people lived in such a way that they believe there was a higher power that mattered, not because of, oh, you're gonna, you know, go to hell for this, but just, you know, treating others as you want to be treated, it would definitely make the world a better place. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think we could all benefit from that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. Well, tell us, you mentioned a little bit earlier about kind of how you got into jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah. So I saw, like many of the other people, Kabe's Instagram ads. And so went in, messaged him to sign up my son, actually, to get him into kind of it was around May, and get him signed up. And as we're talking, he goes, well, what about for you? I was like, yeah, I've always been into UFC, mixed martial arts, but, you know, I'm like, I'm 37. He's like,
I've heard that from, I mean, a bunch of people, Dana included, that advertisement got him. I'm curious, like, what you're probably like following him. I've never seen a localized ad on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, no, never. I don't know why, but like, what were you guys like probably following MMA stuff or what?
Yeah, I don't. The algorithm, you know, must have known, because I kept seeing them and I had to respond. So
that's
it's
funny.
Probably like anybody who lives in Phoenix, in the North Phoenix area, that follows Joe Rogan and Jocko Willink.
Right.
It's like, all right, send it out to them.
Oh, there you go. It's the Jocko component then, because I never got. Well, actually, never mind. I didn't have Instagram.
Daddy.
What's up, dude?
It's Joy. Can you put water on it?
Joel?
Is it water
Joel's
time?
job. Yeah, Joel, why don't you hit us with some
All right,
water?
it's water time.
Good idea, Ollie.
Yeah, thanks, Ollie. And while he's doing that, we do have a new thermometer. Thank you to Babin's Wealth Management.
Oh, yeah,
for,
thank you.
Sending us a new
Sean.
thermometer. This one looks like a good one.
This one's sturdy. Yeah.
It's sitting at about 160 right now.
That'll clear out the kids.
Yeah, there you
feel
go.
that. Oh my
That's
goodness.
the key. Yeah, that'll get you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you went with the full bucket there, huh?
Mhm.
Full spoon.
I needed some guidance, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, that hurts.
So yeah, Cabey's Instagram ad got me, and kept showing up. I had actually stopped in at the Gracie up on Tatum and Thunderbird, and for me it had to fit into my schedule. And Cabey said he had something in the morning, and so I did the 5 weeks, signed up for it, and I could tell you, like, within the first week I was hooked. I was like, I'm doing this.
Heck yeah.
So,
go ahead.
And you've been doing what you said, May of what? It would have been 2022 now.
Yeah, so I started May of 2022.
Okay.
That Mother's Day weekend, and then came in that Monday for the first class.
Did we start the same? Because mine was May 9th.
Okay.
I think we were pretty close.
Yeah.
Maybe you were right after. I don't know when Mother's Day is. Maybe it's the end of May. But
I think it's right around that 12th. For some reason, that 12th is like a number that's stuck in my head for Mother's Day, and like with starting. So,
so we started basically at the exact same time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, that makes sense. You're a college athlete too, because you're a beast in there, dude. You're super strong. Your weight distribution is kind of on point. Like you got a little bit more extra zip than the average dude that just starts it from scratch.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
have you ever dueled Charlie one-on-one?
Yeah, Charlie's a beast, man.
In soccer,
yeah.
I mean.
Oh, soccer? No.
Was Charlie a soccer player?
Yeah, he was a goalkeeper.
He was pro, right?
Makes
sense.
Well, yeah.
So, I was usually the guy defending guys like Charlie. So I played the defensive right, or a right mid. So doing a lot of running, but
Nice.
But no, I've asked Charlie for some tips because he was a goalkeeper. How to get my kids' teams, the goalkeeper a little bit better, a little sharper, that type of stuff. So,
usually the goalkeeper is the most athletic on the team because and you can tell he's like 6'2" and like just a beast.
Yeah.
Got to have that length as well. Unlike most soccer players, you don't find too many that are super tall, right?
Yeah.
Except the keepers. And
the keepers are usually the tall guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was a sweeper for a little while. Up until high school, so it was early on. So it wasn't
What's that, midfield?
It's the center back.
So you're the last resort as a sweeper.
Okay.
You're the guy that has to stop. Anything coming through. So
And I did actually, again, this is when I was like 12 years old, but I made the ODP tryouts.
No way.
As a keeper, which was weird because I never played keeper.
Yeah.
But I made it as a keeper and did that for a little while.
That's cool.
Didn't go on to do it. I didn't want to actually continue and actually play on the team, but I did go to the tryouts. It was fun to do.
That's awesome.
Again, I was only 12. So.
Yeah. Still, you get to say that though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
All right, well, it's time for Luke's intermission water break.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going in the cold plunge.
All right. Let's head in. This episode of the Banya is brought to you by Optimize. Optimize is a health and wellness center run by Jesse Meringue, a fellow training partner of ours. They've got amazing center. They've got your cold plunge, your sauna, the infrared, the hot tub, compression therapy, as well as this PEMF therapy. It's like pulse electromagnetic field. It's amazing. Feels crazy, like you get that electro stim. But the idea is you've got a time in there for an hour to switch between different therapies. You can go from the sauna to the cold plunge to the hot tub. Feels amazing. Luke and I just did that last week, and absolutely, it was incredible. So if you're looking to recover from any sort of athletics or just to feel better, go check out Optimize. And for anybody, the listeners, if you just tell them you heard it on the Banya, they'll give you 50% off your first session. So I believe normally it's $39 for the first session for an hour. So it'll be half that. So go check them out. It's an amazing place.
Oh, yeah, that's something I wanted to talk to the coaches about and see if they'd be game working it in. Vinny's done it, and since I was in his classes, like once or twice, but it's that like 5-minute meditation at the end.
Yeah.
Dude, that is so amazing. Like that like mental, I don't know what it is. Like you're in a trance for sure,
It's that calming of the mind after you've just gone through, a battle, physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Trying to control it. Yeah.
Listening to your body, just like laying there sweating. It's the best.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and also, like going over whatever the technique of the day was, not even with
Yep.
anybody else,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
in your own mind, like
For
thinking
sure.
about the technique, what you did, and once your body's like calming after doing rolls, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll do some open rolls, and then actually thinking about the technique, it helps solidify it in your brain.
Yeah.
That helps me a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about the visualization of things, you know,
Totally,
yeah.
just from a confidence aspect, but also learning, like, one that sticks out, just like they talk about tennis players, just visualizing hitting that ball, you know.
Mhm.
Dude,
And-
that stuff I think is so big. And like one thing for me, like the jokes that I read to you guys,
Yeah.
like I never, like in my day, like so busy, like going from one thing to the next, I don't really ever take time, like that 5-minute thing, to just like really sit there and like meditate.
Mhm.
And to write jokes though, you have to like kind of like block out everything else that's going on and like focus on something
Mhm.
like that it's like, and it's creative too, right? So it's like, it is like a meditation too. It's super fun. And like I think that's why like I'm terrible at like riffing and like shit talking. Like I'm not good at that.
Unlike like Lance and RB.
Oh,
just,
yeah,
like, going
yeah.
off.
I think like
That's the
Lance
best.
is so good at it too.
I think like I love people that are good at shit talking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite like attributes of a human being. There's this kid we grew up with named Brett Schaffler. Just the funny, like kind of a trashy hillbilly type kid, but just the funniest motherfucker ever. Like he would just talk shit all day. It was so good, man. It's my favorite.
It's
a
always
skill.
quality in a human.
It's a weird skill. And I don't know how people get that, but like
Yeah.
one of my best friends, Justin's the same way.
Mhm.
He just will like, he's just got something ready to go at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. I think it's like a little bit of that though, where like you have to kind of like calm your mind down enough to like even think like that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I'm having fun doing that though. It's
Yeah.
like, because it's really hard for me.
Yeah,
So it's
stretching you for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun.
Yeah, I love watching comedians or the clips and stuff, and when they're bantering back and forth with the audience, and
Yeah.
they're
yeah,
just
dude,
able to
it's
like
amazing.
on the fly, just like
Yeah.
keep things going, and it's absolutely hilarious. You know,
Yeah.
the guys who do it well. So,
Yeah, that crowd work is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who's
Yeah.
that? The young comedian who he always is posting just crowd work stuff.
Yeah, Matt Rife.
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not a skill that I have
No.
by any means. You know,
Well,
give me 20 minutes later, and I'll have a comeback. You know?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
I should've
Same
said
way.
that. I did get somebody pretty good this week though. That did I tell you about the guy
I
that
don't think
was
so.
rolling up on me all like freaking out and heated, and I just started laying into him. I like bunch of shit. I was asking him if he was on his period, like all kinds of just like I was kind of proud of myself. I was like, fucking, and he was pissed. It was
More so.
It was good, man. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I do get into like kind of like weekly squabbles too. Like I kind of enjoy them a little bit. I'm like kind of fucking with them. My neighbor is Salad and Go, and they're terrible neighbors. Like their production facility, not like a shop where they hand out salads. Like the
Yeah.
people that actually pre-package all the shitty food they make.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, a lot of the oils that are in their dressings are seed oils. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
stay
you were
away
telling
from
me
that
that, yeah.
diarrhea dump.
Yep.
Right?
But
Yeah.
anyways, they're kind of cunts, like the people who run it. So like, if I ever get a chance to like pick a fight with one of their
You're
managers,
just waiting
I'm like,
for it.
I'm on 'em, dude. Yeah. I'm gonna get some shirts made. Like I'm getting really vindictive and shitty with them.
Yeah.
That's great. Just antagonize it. So.
Fuck Salad and Go. Don't eat there.
Dude,
My
it's
wife eats it all the
unfortunate.
time. I hate it.
Because like when they first came out, like I was like, oh cool, I'm gonna go get one. It's good stuff. And
It's
then
a
I
good
was like,
business plan. But
yeah, but you think
yeah.
like, oh yeah, Salad and Go, that's healthy, right? You know, people
Yeah.
think that's healthy. It's like no,
Yeah.
no, it's
Like-
all prepackaged, and like the chicken that they put in there's not great chicken.
Yeah.
No, it's
all the dressings
the
and-
cheapest shit ever.
And you got to
yeah.
think it's like a $7 salad.
Yeah.
you know,
You
can't
pay for what
be-
you get, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm waiting for them to kill somebody with listeria.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Be all over their ass.
I'm surprised
I
actually.
call them diarrhea and go.
I'm actually surprised I haven't had something come up with
Yeah.
just with salads. Like that's like the one of the most common to get food poisoning from.
Yeah, and they're gross too. The building they're in is like 100 years old, and like they whatever. talk shit all day about them. They're gross. People don't eat there.
Brought to you by.
Yeah.
Sell it and go.
They did start stealing one of my business models though. That I didn't think of it. Like, there's this place. I lived in DC for a couple of years, and there's a place called Medium Rare out there, and the concept is fucking awesome. They open at 5 p.m. They close at 10. There's a line of people coming out there. You walk in, you sit down, and it's like the tables have like the big paper things that like kids can draw on and shit.
Yeah.
And the waiter just grabs a crayon and he like divides it up however many people are there, and he goes, how do you like it? Because they only serve steak and french fries. That's it.
That's
So you
great.
sit down and you go medium rare, whatever you say. They walk around and like their gravy's killer delicious, and they just start plating you because they make one thing. Everybody's getting the same shit, so it's already ready.
Yeah.
So you sit down, you eat your food. They'll come back with seconds. You eat that. All right, they kick your ass out. Next person sits down, and like they just bang, dude. So like their cost of ingredients has to be super low because they're ordering two fucking things or whatever, you know. Very limited things compared to a regular restaurant that has so much shit on the menu,
Right.
you know? So it's like, it is done well, it tastes good, it's super cool. So, but I wanted, like, because I try to just eat whole foods for sure, and it's annoying how hard it is to, like, quickly get something that's, like, decent for you, right? So it'd be cool to have like a salad and go window where like they just throw steaks at you, you know, like that are done with some gravy that are, you know, maybe not as heavy as like a steakhouse steak, but something more digestible, like for lunch or whatever, you know, that's healthy. But I saw that I think in Tucson they opened one of those, like it's a steak and go.
Okay.
So, but it's probably also lowest grade shit.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, if you do that with like, you know, cooking the fries and beef tallow, good quality meat, I mean, you're going to pay a little bit more. But,
Absolutely.
I mean, I would think that would kill.
I
would get that.
People would pay for it, yeah.
The cost of even shitty food right now is crazy high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Fucking go to Starbucks and order some shit. Like, your bill's like $30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you might as well pull up and get like a $20 steak.
Yeah,
lunch,
and it's going to fill you, and you're not going to... That's the thing I've noticed. When I eat good food, I'm not hungry. Like, I'm not craving other things, you know.
You're satiated.
Yep. So that's key.
Maybe that's it. I was complaining about that the last, couple weeks ago to Dana, that, like, I've lost a lot of my appetite. Like, just, like, desires to eat shitty food. And I was complaining in, like, a way that, like, it's fun to want that nasty shit and, like, gorge on it every now and then, you know what I mean? But I've completely, like, lost that. And it's kind of, like, damn, I almost miss it. But, I mean, obviously, it's nice not to be addicted to trash food.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's there's something fun about it. But I don't crave that shit anymore.
Yeah, I noticed that, you know, when I've pretty much cut out everything. I've got my my breakfast burritos from a dirty Mexican place every once in a while, but for the most part, you know,
those mostly suck out here too. It's so disappointing.
You got to find a Berto somewhere that you trust.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, those can be hit or miss too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, talk about some chewy ass meat, dude. That stuff. There was a place that was those Mascadoras restaurants.
Yeah.
They're like franchise, so each person like kind of, obviously they work within parameters, but they kind of get to do their own shit. And there was one way down by my ghetto neighborhood where my warehouse is. It was the fucking best burrito I've ever had in my life. And that's coming from California, where like burritos are pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they closed up though because it was like they're just in such a shitty place, It was like really delicious though.
Yeah, the Mascadoras places are pretty good.
Yeah,
like
the one up here is okay. It's not as good as the one
Yeah.
that I was going to,
Yeah.
so it kind of ruined it for me a little
Yeah,
bit. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's basically like if a Chipotle wasn't,
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Exactly.
More authentic Mexican type Chipotle.
Right.
Yeah.
But boom. All right, dude. Well, hit us with your favorite conspiracy theory.
Oh, right now, I've got buddies that are hitting me hard against the flat Earth stuff. So yeah.
Wait, you actually believe in that?
So I like more. I lean more towards space is fake. So they kind of
what is it then? Just a projection?
Yeah, like we're in a firmament and you can't leave.
Okay.
So a lot of what you see of astronauts floating around is all studio, all wires and green screen. So
But the Chinese go up,
and
the Russians go up.
Yeah, they got some really good videos.
Yeah, but how do we coordinate that to trick humanity, and why?
Yeah, I think it's all deeper into just control, manipulation, keep people distracted with certain things.
Well, so obviously, if we're all in like a Tupperware container or whatever you believe, then there's obviously somebody controlling that. Is that, or is it just how nature is?
Yeah,
or God
so
put it there?
yeah, so I think coming from my faith even aspect of like God created the world and everything in it, and He created it perfect. Like, so it's self-sustaining. All this stuff about like, oh, the world's gonna end. All these different things. I think is a bunch of. I think God designed it to last a certain amount of time, and
Gabriel's trumpet.
Yeah, and there's a beginning and an end for sure, but I think a lot of it is a big distraction against a divine creator. So what and they try to point to life outside of we got to leave this place, go to Mars and civilize Mars, and which recently Elon Musk even said we can't communicate with things there.
So if it was God's creation though, and the Earth isn't round and all that stuff, like how does I could see if you were like, oh, the Rothschilds are controlling this Tupperware environment and they put the sun up every day or whatever, but like if it's flat, what's up with the sun?
Yeah, so
it just circles.
It just circles around, in a rotation with the moon.
And the sun is flat.
No, the sun is round. Yes.
Why are we flat and the sun is round?
I can tell you why we are, but I mean, we are created. What God created Earth and what we're supposed to be living in, it was designed for us. And it was designed to be perfect.
That's the ultimate trump card, though.
Yeah.
You can always fall back on your conspiracy. That was like, dude, ask God.
Right.
Well, it gives another meaning to Biosphere 2 down in Tucson. That is actually the second one, because they just say the Earth is Biosphere 1, but if they actually are in the Biosphere, that's the second, the kind of biosphere in a biosphere.
I still feel like God would have chosen a circular object. It seems less messy, it's clean. The sun's gonna be. I mean, if it's gonna be a circle, then let's make everything else marbles, right? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to whether there's a circular base to it, or what, I don't know. But what I do know is there's a bigger deception about space, about the world that we live in.
I can see that
Antarctica, that fun stuff. Why can't you go there?
I can see that with the space thing, because I've seen those videos where they are pretending like they're floating in space, but you can see the wires that are coming out of their shirt. Where are they really up in the space station or wherever, or is it just all just a? Or
they got a lady's hairspray, hair sprayed up, straight up, and other things that should be floating or sitting on a desk or something. So
it's magnets.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that's not that I don't think that I'll ever be able to prove it myself. But it's a
sailor,
fun,
dude.
Put on your sneakers and run around.
I do have a kid on my son's soccer team. His dad was just stationed down in Antarctica.
Yeah. So
I've got a lot of questions for him. So.
Oh man, we should get him on the podcast with you.
I mean, no, the only real way is to put Joel in a spaceship and fly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because even if you were on a boat, you could just claim oh, I just went. It's like, who's saying I'm sailing straight or to the cockeyed to the left, and just did a loop back or whatever.
Well, and the Truman Show is kind of the, they're within all of the, higher societies and, Illuminatis and all that. There's a rule that they have to follow that is they have to tell you what they're doing. So Hollywood is their way of laying things out. And for you and I, we go and we go, oh, that's funny. That's something out of Truman Show, or that's something out of this movie.
Come from for them, just their code of honor.
It's their code, It's something higher that they have to abide by.
It makes them feel. Are they? Is that a religious group or?
They claim to be religious. Yeah, I would say a lot of them are pretty Satan. They're Satanists. They worship something.
It's a religion, but not necessarily.
Not Jesus.
Yeah, they're pretty dark. In what they require of people.
Have you seen The Ninth Gate?
No,
Johnny Depp.
No, I haven't seen that.
You should watch that.
Yeah,
it's actually so it's I mean, it's not as cerebral as some of those what's the book with Tom Hanks starred in the movies for him? You know, it's
yeah.
it's all about the Catholic Church and stuff.
Oh,
tribulation
Da Vinci
stuff.
Code and-
Yeah,
exactly. It's
Yeah.
not as like crazy like detailed as that.
Yeah.
You know, as far as like describing religion and stuff, but it's all about like he's trying to find these satanic books
Yep.
that combined will bring back the devil or
Yep.
something like that. So it's a good film.
Yeah.
Dude, he was in some bangers early on too. One of my favorite movies is Secret Window.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a great
that's
movie.
a good one.
Uh-huh.
I'll rewatch that.
Yeah,
That's
good.
It's good, man.
Yeah. It's been a long time. It was probably like 20 plus years ago.
For sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was early 2000s. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super good.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
the mind.
Yep.
like,
Your mind's not ready
dude.
for it, and
Well, yeah, just like even imagining that happening to
Yeah.
somebody, which like and then knowing the backstory, like Stephen King wrote that when he was tripped out of his
Yeah.
head, just like it all. It's like basically like he probably almost did that type of a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, or
a lot of
could
that stuff comes from some sort of
Yeah.
experience or
Uh-huh.
So
Well, supposedly Stephen King, when he was writing most of his books, was like high on cocaine
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, that's
Chardonnay.
playing with a dark world right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Chardonnay
So-
and Coke, dude.
Yeah. No, I dive into all of it though. I like a good conspiracy theory
Yeah.
and share it freely as well.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always fun.
yeah.
No. Well, we were talking a little bit about John Hinton competing in a week and a half.
Yeah.
So I like to ask everybody about competition. So you've competed at white belt. Have you competed at blue belt?
Yeah,
yet?
competed at Blue Belt at World League at Mullet Arena. Took
Okay.
4th place there.
Was that most recently? Like back
Yeah,
in
that was
March?
August.
Oh, last August.
Yeah, last
Okay,
August, yeah.
nice.
So,
Heck yeah. You said you took what?
4th.
4th. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So, I definitely gave my opponent too much credit,
yeah.
and respected him too much instead of just playing my game and doing what I needed to do. So, lessons learned and on to the next. But this year's going to be busy with work. I'm buying out my business partner, so
Okay.
we're in a big transition with work. So unless something just falls in perfectly,
What
this
kind
is
of a workload position will that put you in? Less or more?
more delegation, more oversight. Less
So,
of
more
a
work.
sales role and
Yeah.
more of a just management.
Are you ready for that stress?
I love being in front of customers and talking to them. So that's going to be the change that's going to have to I'm going to have to get used to. So
Yeah.
Dealing with disgruntled
yeah,
employees.
dealing with that aspect, or having hard conversations with people that aren't performing. So
Sure.
Right.
yeah,
That's always tough. Yeah.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite way to fire someone?
I've never had to, so
okay.
yeah. My partner was the one that the last, when we were both kind of in a position to do something, it was pretty clear about the guy. We were on the same page, and the guy had been lying to us about stuff. So it's like, it's not working out. So
Right.
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy how full of shit a lot
right.
of people
Oh yeah,
are.
yeah. And there's some good salesmen out
Surprise.
there for themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, hopefully something falls in, but maybe I think next year would be a more of a aspect of really pursuing it, taking
right.
this year to stay healthy and grow, learn. So
Okay. All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
cool. You got out there for blue belt. That's
Yeah.
good. It's good to get that first competition.
It is.
I mean, it's good for white belt, but even at blue, you get to that next level. It's another step up.
It is,
for
yeah.
sure. So it's good you got out there. I'm glad at least we got Hinton going, and then we got to get some more of the zombies to compete. Maybe at the next World League, looking at June. So
there you go.
we'll see.
Yeah.
It'd be exciting to get a big group. It'd be nice to win a trophy for the gym.
That would be.
So
That'd be
I'd like
cool.
to, if we can get a bunch of people all from the gym to do one competition and just go out there and let's get on the podium.
Absolutely.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying World League. World League everybody seems to love.
What's
It's
the
the
date
Mullet
on that?
Arena, June 12th. It's probably wrong. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
June 11th,
Okay.
12th, something like that. I think Sam she's targeting that one for
Cool.
first white belt
Nice.
competition. Hinton was saying that one as well, and so is his wife. Want to do that, so we get a few.
Yeah.
I think RB was going to do it as well because his little girl was going to do it. So
What's he doing? Ultra heavyweight?
Yeah. Oh, he's dropping some weight.
Yeah.
No, he actually looked good in the podcast.
Yeah, he's on the grind. We've been doing 100 push-ups a day for the last 12 days now.
I need
We're
to
doing
get to
30
that.
days straight. So
I need to get back doing that.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Well, let's do a quick cold dip.
Yeah,
and then let's get back
sounds
in
good.
and wrap things up.
Sounds good. A little trickier like that.
Well, you were talking about how you weren't imposing your will, right? That
Right.
you kind of sat back and were like, hold on a minute.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I've felt that, look over at the guy and you're like, I feel like, he looks strong.
Yep.
But then so many times, actually just my last competition, I thought that too. And I was kind of in a weird mood, wasn't super excited about the tournament.
Yeah, I remember you saying that in one of the podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the first opponent, I realized within 30 seconds it was I'm stronger than this guy.
Yeah.
So now it's just got to use technique. He's not going to beat me in strength.
Yeah.
And then once I realized, I was oh man, I got this. I ended up losing the match, which was kind of a weird match, but the next two guys, it just completely imposed my will on them.
Yeah.
So just having that, you got to go in a mindset I am stronger than these guys.
Right.
And I was telling John that last night because we were working through his game plan, and he's 181 Master 2, so same division as me. And I was telling him, I was look, I'm stronger than every single guy in my division.
Yeah.
Always in the last 2 or 3 tournaments have felt stronger than every single one. And John's at least as strong as I am, if not stronger.
Yeah.
So I was dude, go in, you need to know you are stronger than them. So just having that mindset, I was just have that. You need to remind yourself that before going into it. You are. Don't rely on that.
Yeah.
But just know that you don't have to rely on your strength. You can use your technique because you're not going to have to worry about being overpowering in that piece. So it's a good thing to visualize, think about that, and actually believe in yourself to do it, because that's, like Luke was saying, that's such a big component of it, knowing you're going to impose your will on the person.
Yeah. Yeah, I even that last tournament, Vinny was even that first match. Vinny was like, you give me hell, you've got these guys.
Yeah.
And that there's just that one moment, and then I doubted myself. And so, and that guy ended up, we tied 0-0, and he ended up winning every match 0-0.
Oh, wow.
Just ref's decision. So,
man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Too.
So, but I'm not going out there that way the next time. So,
no, absolutely not.
So,
I've had a couple of 0-0 refs decision, and it's frustrating, especially since I'm playing guard most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And some refs, they see that and they're like, okay, guard player, they're more in control. Some will be like, well, the other guy's on top trying to pass more or whatever. So you never know. You gotta make it undeniable, right? So
gotta get some points, or get them to tap. So
yeah. Well, let's see. Hopefully, we can get you in this year. I know you're gonna be busy, but it'd be nice to have you come out and compete with everybody. If we can get everybody to do it, then you may just have to.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
So well, cool.
All right. Yeah. One last thing too, dude. You're such a sweet man. For the people at night, night classes that don't get to meet Joel, just kind of throwing this out there. He's just such a kind guy. He's like Santa Claus. He's always just walking into the morning classes, handing people stuff, bringing in little gifts and trinkets and stuff. I should have worn I forgot, dude. I messed up. But yeah, no, dude, Joel's an amazing human being, one of those super kind guys, and make me want to be a nicer guy because I'm kind of an asshole. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
It's good being around you, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm just blessed to get to know everybody at the gym. Cabade's got such a good place going there. So,
for sure.
And the coaches and everything. So just blessed to get to know you guys and everything. So
absolutely, it's good. It's a good community that's been really built, and we're fostering and continuing to grow. So it's amazing.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one.
See ya.
See ya. Thanks, guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good one, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Solid.
time.
Push this.
No, it don't matter.
Yeah, I was
It's
just fucking with it. I've never touched it.
Hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Turn?
Yeah, we're all the same color today.
Yeah.
What is that? What does that? Do you know?
The button back here.
Oh, there's one back there.
Yeah, there you go. I'm red. There's a little button.
Kinds.
Oh, there you go.
Oh. Rainbow boy.
I don't think I'd like that one. Though.
Little
That
distracting.
would be
Put on Arby's next time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Freaking queer bait. All right. Damn.
Yeah, this is just the idea of it that you came up with is just phenomenal. Just yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of amazed it came out. The way I do things is just like quick and dirty and without any plans really. So it's like kind of just knocked it together, and I was like, all right, you know.
I love it because I'm the opposite. I'm like the overthink it, and then it doesn't happen because I drag my feet.
People drive me crazy. I fucking hate that. Like, I'm always like, let's get shit done. We'll do it wrong 3 times before we get it right. You know, it's a painful way to live, actually.
I need those. I need the Lukes in my life to push me, and then
one of my good friends in college, Dave. He's like that. He's super good at like, but he's just slow as fuck or just won't do it, you know. But like, we would do all kinds of crazy shit. Like we would make our own maple syrup and like had a chicken farm in our backyard, like certified, like everything, you know, like we were selling eggs and shit, and like we were building these brick like not fire pits, grills, like because we'd have big parties and sometimes we'd need like 3 or 4 of these or whatever, and so we're building this one, and like he's working on one side, I'm working on the other, and I'm like lapping him, you know, and I'm just making fun of him the whole time, just talking shit, like you're never gonna get that done, and then we're done, and then like literally like a couple weeks later, my side is like all fucking cracking and falling apart, and his is like sturdy, like perfect. But yeah, man, sometimes you just gotta get shit done.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Can't think about stuff.
All right.
Too much.
Yeah, that analysis, or what is it? Paralysis by analysis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for real. That's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I get like I once I slap hands with the guy like that, I'm just whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm basically checked out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's all just my drilling takes over. Whatever I you know done here or there. Like
You know what I find you're talking about? Like getting super nervous before competition. I find with anything, if I get really nervous about, like when it comes time to perform, it comes from, at least with me, a place of not feeling fully prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that means like going through game plan or like, oh, I haven't trained enough or whatever it is. I think that's helped me, at least in jiu-jitsu, is like before competition, like going through and having that game plan, like, okay, I'm going to pull guard. If he gets a takedown, I'm going to try and pull him into my guard. If he's, able to pass, I got to immediately do something to sweep or whatever. And like having all of these steps in mind, I know that seems to help a lot. And having that visualization walking through it is really a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think I like it to like a presentation at work or even at school. Like if I got that presentation down, I know it backwards and forwards. It's not reading off the slides; it's knowing it. So like those slides are just there for support.
Exactly.
Then I'm like, cool, I got this. I got no problem. I'm gonna burn through it.
Yeah, and that's where I think I doubted my own ability, and I gave too much credit to his strength.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh, maybe I can't do this because he's strong or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but you live and you learn. So
yeah.
So, but
oh yeah. Boom.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
This is good.
We can get in the pool again.
Yeah.
Did you bring a towel?
I forgot one. If you want to grab it.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I gotta go to bed if I'm gonna make it to...
I know, me
Yeah.
too.
Sam's cooking dinner right now. She went out to East Mesa, did a
Oh,